Hello, welcome to my student support system. In today's class, we will discuss about part 4 of digestive system. This lecture is in English and if you want to study in Hindi, you can click on I button. You will get link of Hindi lecture or directly you can visit my channel My Student Support System. What is digestive system? Digestive system is also known as gastrointestinal system or alimentary canal or GIT. This is a vast system approximately 10 meters long. It travels the length of body from mouth through thoracic, abdominal and pelvic cavity where it ends at the anus. We are covering it in multiple lectures. In today's class, we will discuss the anatomy and physiology of accessory organs of GIT that are pancreas, liver and gallbladder. First of all, pancreas. Pancreas is a pale grey gland weighing about 60 grams. It is about 12 to 15 centimeter long and is situated in the epigastric and left hypochondric region of the abdominal cavity. What are the regions of abdominal cavity? You can watch my previous lecture where I have described the introduction about anatomy and physiology and we have discussed in detail all the regions and quadrants of abdominal cavity. It consists of a head, body and tail. Here you can see this is the head, this is the body and this is the tail. This one. The head lies in the curve of duodenum. This is the curve of duodenum and head lies here. The body behind the stomach and tail lies in front of the left kidney and just reaches to the spleen. The abdominal aorta and inferior vena cava lies behind the gland. The pancreas is both exocrine gland as well as endocrine gland. Means it acts as endocrine gland as well as exocrine glands. Exocrine pancreas. This consists of large number of lobules made up of small acini, the wall of which consists of secretory cells. Each lobule is drained by a tiny duct and these tiny ducts unite eventually to form the pancreatic duct which is situated in the center of the pancreas and extend whole length of pancreas gland and open into the duodenum. Just before entering the duodenum, it combines with the common bile duct to form hepatopancreatic ampulla. The function of exocrine pancreas is to produce pancreatic juice, which contains the enzymes for complete digestion of carbohydrate, protein and fat. And this we have already discussed in previous lecture. Endocrine pancreas. There are a group of specialized cells called the pancreatic islets or islets of Langerhans. These islets are distributed throughout the gland. The islets have no ducts, so the hormones secreted by these islets of Langerhans diffuse directly into the blood. The endocrine pancreas secrete hormones insulin and glucagon, which are principally concerned with the control of blood glucose levels. Next, we will study the liver. The liver is the largest gland of the body, weighing between 1 to 2.3 kilograms. It is situated in the upper part of abdominal cavity, occupying greater part of right hypochondric region, a part of epigastric region, and extending into the left hypochondric region. Its upper and anterior surface are smooth and curved to fit under the undersurface of diaphragm. Its posterior surface is irregular in outline. The liver is enclosed in a thin inelastic capsule and is completely covered by a layer of peritoneum. Folds of peritoneum form supporting ligament attaching the liver to the inferior surface of diaphragm. It is held in place partially by these ligaments and partially by the pressure of organs in the abdominal cavity. The liver has four lobes. The two most obvious, which are large, right lobe, and the smaller one is left lobe. The other two lobes are caudate lobe and quadrate lobe. This can be seen only from the posterior view, not in the front view. Here you can see this is front view, right lobe and left lobe, and this is posterior view, caudate lobe, this one, and this is quadrate lobe. Then there is portal fissure in the posterior surface. This is the name given to the region on the posterior surface of the liver where various structures enter and leave the liver. One is portal vein. Portal vein enters carrying blood from the stomach, spleen, pancreas, and the small and large intestines. The hepatic artery enters carrying arterial blood. It is a branch from the celiac artery, which is a branch of abdominal aorta. Nerve fibers, sympathetic and parasympathetic nerve fibers enter. Here you can see this is the hepatic fissure where all these nerves and vessels enter and leave the liver. The right and left hepatic ducts also leave carrying bile from the liver towards gallbladder. Lymph vessels leave the liver draining some lymph to the abdominal and some to the thoracic nodes. The falciform ligament extend from the undersurface of diaphragm between two principal lobes of the liver to the superior surface of liver, helping it to suspend the liver in the abdominal cavity. In the free border of falciform ligament, there is ligamentum teres or round ligament, which is a remnant of the umbilical vein in the fetus. Now we discuss the structure of liver. The lobes of liver are made up of tiny functional units called lobules, which are just visible to naked eyes. Liver lobules are hexagonal in outline. So these are like this and formed by cubicle shaped cells. Here you can see these are the cubicle shaped cells known as hepatocytes arranged in pairs of columns. Okay, so columns are there, pairs of column are there. Radiating from the central vein, there is a central vein here and they radiate outwards. These are the hepatocytes. So this is one lobule and they arrange in the like this and finally the liver is formed. The blood drain from the sinusoids into central and centrolobular veins. These then join with the veins of other lobule forming larger veins until eventually they become the hepatic vein, which leave the liver and empty into the inferior vena cava. So here you can See, this is the portal vein. This is the hepatic artery. So these eventually these blood unite here in the sinusoids and it passes towards hepatic vein, central hepatic vein, and during this process the exchange of nutrients and oxygen take place, and here in this duct canaliculi the bile is formed and collected in the bile duct and blood is drained in the hepatic vein. One of the function is of the liver is to secrete bile. Bile canaliculi run between the columns of liver cells. The canaliculi join up to form larger bile canals and then eventually they unite to form right and left hepatic ducts. These are right and left hepatic ducts which drain the bile from the liver to common bile duct and then to the gallbladder. Functions of liver. Liver is very active and it has a lot of functions to do. First of all, carbohydrate metabolism. The liver has an important role in maintaining plasma glucose level. After a meal, when the level of glucose rises, the glucose is converted to glycogen for storage under the influence of hormone insulin. Later, when glucose level falls, the hormone glucagon stimulates conversion of this glycogen into the glucose again, keeping the level within normal range. Next is fat metabolism. Hepatocytes store some triglycerides, break down fatty acids to generate ATP, synthesize lipoproteins, which transport fatty acids, triglycerides, and cholesterols to and from the body cells, synthesize cholesterol, and use the cholesterol to make bile salts. Protein metabolism. Hepatocytes deaminate means remove the amino group NH2 from amino acids so that the amino acids can be used for ATP production and converted to the carbohydrates or fats. The resulting toxic ammonia NH3 is converted into much lesser toxic urea which is excreted in urine. Hepatocytes also synthesize most plasma proteins such as alpha and beta globulins, albumin, prothrombin, and fibrinogens. Functions of liver continue. Processing of drugs and hormones. The liver can detoxify substances such as alcohol, excrete the drugs such as penicillin, erythromycin, sulfonamides into the bile. It can also chemically alter and excrete thyroid hormones and steroid hormones such as estrogens and aldosterones. Excretion of bilirubin. The bilirubin derived from the heme of aged and dead RBCs is absorbed by the liver from the blood and excreted into bile. Most of the bilirubin in bile is metabolized in small intestinal bacteria and eliminated in the feces. Synthesis of bile salts. Bile salts are used in the small intestine for emulsification of and absorption of lipids. Storage. In addition to glycogen, the liver is a prime storage site for certain vitamins like A, B12, D, E, and K, and the minerals iron and copper, which are released from the liver when needed elsewhere in the body. Inactivation of hormones. The hormones are inactivated or regulated by the liver. These includes insulin, glucagon, cortisol, aldosterone, thyroid, and sex hormones. Production of heat. Liver uses a considerable amount of energy, has a high metabolic rate, and produces a great amount of heat. It is the main heat producing organ of the body. Phagocytosis. The striate reticuloendothelial cells, which are also known as Kupffer cells in the liver, phagocytose the aged red blood cells, white blood cells, as well as some bacteria. Activation of vitamin D. The skin, liver, and kidneys participate in synthesizing the active form of vitamin D. What is bile juice? Bile juice, approximately 500 to 1000 ml of bile is secreted by the liver daily. It consists of water, mineral salts, mucus, bile pigments, mainly bilirubin, bile salts, which are derived from the uh, bile acids, cholic and chenodeoxycholic acid, and cholesterol. The principal bile pigment is bilirubin. The phagocytosis of aged red blood cell liberate iron, globin, and bilirubin. The iron and globin are recycled and the bilirubin is secreted into the bile, which is eventually broken down in the intestine. One of its breakdown product is stercobilin, which give feces the normal brown color. A small amount is reabsorbed from the intestine and excreted in the urine as urobilinogen. Bile is partially an excretory product and partially digestive secretion. Bile salts, which are sodium salts and potassium salt of bile acids, mostly chenodeoxycholic acid and cholic acid, play a role in emulsification, the breakdown of large lipid globules into suspension of small lipid globules. Now, what is gallbladder? The gallbladder is pear-shaped sac attached to the posterior surface of liver by connective tissue. It has three parts: fundus, this one, body, and a pouch and a neck, which is continuous with the cystic duct. This is cystic duct. The wall of gallbladder has the same layers of tissue as those described in the basic structure of alimentary canal, with some modification, like peritoneum. The peritoneum covers only inferior surface because the upper surface of gallbladder is in direct contact with the liver. Muscular layer. There is an additional layer of oblique muscle fiber in the gallbladder. Mucous membrane. This displays small ruggi when the gallbladder is empty and disappear when the gallbladder is distended with bile. Bile ducts, which come out from the gallbladder and go towards gallbladder. The right and left hepatic duct join to form common hepatic duct just outside the portal fissure. The hepatic duct passes downwards for about 3 cm where it is joined by the cystic duct from gallbladder. The cystic duct and hepatic duct merge, forming the common bile duct, which passes downwards behind the head of pancreas. This is joined by the main pancreatic duct at the hepatopancreatic ampulla, and the opening opens into the duodenum at duodenal papilla, and it is guarded by hepatopancreatic sphincter or sphincter of Oddi. The common bile duct is about 7.5 cm long and has a diameter of 6 mm. What are the functions of gallbladder? Gallbladder's functions include reservoir for the bile. The concentration of bile is up to 10 to 15 fold by absorption of water through the walls of gallbladder. Release of stored bile. When the muscles wall of the gallbladder contracts, the bile passes through the bile ducts to the duodenum. The contraction of these muscles is stimulated by the hormone cholecystokinin secreted by duodenum in the presence of fat and acid chyme in the duodenum. Relaxation of hepatopancreatic sphincter. It is caused by cholecystokinin hormone and is a reflex response to the contraction of gallbladder. Thank you student for watching such videos. You can subscribe my channel so that you can get notifications timely. My student support system. Like my Facebook page. For making your notes, you can visit my blogger mynursingstudents.blogspot.com. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram and join Nursing Notes Facebook group. Thank you. Have a nice day.